today on My First Concert.
And they're pulling me, and I'm running, and I don't even know it. The three girls at Bananarama are standing there, and there's all this press and everything around, right? And as I'm running through the hall, I spike one of their feet with my on the way out, and the look on her face like, and I did not mean to do it, but I think my friends and I have said karma. No.
Karma.
So I'm really sorry, Bananarama, if you hear this, I apologize, but I did not mean to do that. But I was like, oh my God, that was so weird.
Welcome, everybody, to My First Concert. Dave Lee here with our producer, Davide, our music engineer, and my producer, lowers the standards to join the show every once in a while. Thank you, Davide. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Dave.
And we're excited to have a friend of yours, a friend of mine, and most recently, a Hall of Fame member in the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame, and that's Pamela McNeill, brought to you by AquariusHomeServices.com. Check them out, too. They got the big open house coming up here in May, and also our thanks to Star.Bank, our bank right here at TalkNorth.com. You can go to Apple, Spotify, or TalkNorth.com, get all the podcasts that we've had, and you can do that at your leisure or wherever you get podcasts. But in the meantime, Pamela, great to see you again. Thank you.
Great to see both of you. It's so awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's interesting, and I did not know this, and I've known both of you for a while, but you and Davide had kind of a musical history, huh?
Yes, I was actually his teacher.
Yes,
Wow.
You taught me about the performance rights organizations, copywriting, and all the important music business stuff.
Wow. I hope I remember it.
Yeah, I remember some of it. So,
Well, you must have been a good teacher because he's doing pretty well in this industry, that's for sure.
He was always a great student. So
We've chatted about this before, but and I'm deep tracking in my mind, but I'm sure your first concert was Rush, if I remember right.
You are right. It was Rush. It was magic. It was amazing.
In the meantime, since we've talked about that, talking to musicians about Rush, for some reason, musicians, I like Rush, but if you're a really good musician, there seems to be an affinity to really admire what they do. What is it about them that makes them so good?
Well, yeah, their musicianship was just, off the charts, amazing. The things that they could do together, and I think for someone like me, I had classical piano training for many years, and I loved all kinds of music and rock and roll, but it was more challenging for me because I wanted to learn everything. It wasn't just like, here's a verse, here's a chorus, here's a verse, here's a chorus, here's a bridge, we go out a couple times. It was something that I could, try to learn. It was almost like a challenge, and then you get with your music nerd friends, which I had many, all guys, because the girls really weren't that into Rush back in the day. There was a few of us.
Yeah,
but,
it's kind of a guy deal.
Yeah, and you just like geek out on it and, play the parts you knew or listen. And yeah, I think it was the musicianship. And you know what else? When Neil Peart died a few years ago, one of the drum magazines had an interview with me because I was a female who, a rocker who loved Rush, and they wanted that. It was the rest of everybody else was a bunch of dudes, right? So they wanted this girl perspective. And I said, as I thought about it, their lyrics actually, or their music, it was never like, hey baby this, or it was never, videos with women's in chains or whatever it was. It was a different kind of content and a different kind of message. And I really liked it. To me, it was deep and meaningful, So I liked that. It was, spoke to just the human person, not just, the sex, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It'd be nice to hear you and Geddy Lee together someday.
I would love that. Geddy, if you're out there, anytime.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, let's go back to that first concert. Where was it? When was it? Who were you with?
So I was 16 years old. It was at the La Crosse Civic Center. Mm-hmm. And my boyfriend took me there for my 16th birthday. Knew I was a huge Rush fan.
Man.
And it was amazing. It was, like I said, it was my first concert. And I remember, he took me out to eat. And then, we did a little shopping. And then we went across to the Civic Center. And I wasn't sure what to expect because I'd been to, band concerts in high school or whatever. But I hadn't been to a concert. And I think the opening band was Rory Gallagher or something like that. And I wasn't sure, it was like, it was okay, but
Yeah.
and I thought, God, I wonder if this is just not going to be,
As
you know what I
fun.
mean? Like this is, so all of a sudden we're sitting in there and the lights go out and I hear people starting to get crazy, and I hear like the bump of the bass, boom. And all of a sudden they started with Spirit of the Radio. And it was like religious experience. I think I sobbed for 20 minutes, the tears just streaming down my face. And I was like, I knew I wanted to be a singer, but this was it. This put this cemented the deal. And it was like a religious experience. It was amazing. And so it couldn't have got any better.
Were you ever able to see them again? Because as a performer, it's hard to find time.
Yeah, I got to see them, I think, just one more time at the State Fair when they were here the last time, I believe.
Okay.
And that was amazing. I mean, it was just amazing. Because the other thing about them is, maybe you may or may not know, is they have a great sense of humor. So they always do a lot of really kind of funny things, too. And it's just, like, I think behind... I don't know if it was Getty's amps or whatever. He had like a whole wall of chicken rotisseries. Like they were actually roasting chickens as the show was going on, whatever. So just crazy. I mean, where else do you get that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever incorporated any of that stuff because it was so impactful to you into any of your shows?
No.
Have they had influence on you?
Well, they have, but not really.
You don't have rotisserie chickens.
No,
at any of your shows.
but now
Marshmallows and-
I would start small with like something small like a marshmallow or no. But now that I'm thinking about it,
Well,
I don't have the budget.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, as you mentioned, that Neil Peart passed away.
Yeah.
If there are rumors that they might get maybe Dave Grohl
Yeah.
on drums and they might do a tour with him, would you go see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Because I feel like there's this theory that once you're past a certain age or once your original band members aren't then that's it, and it really depends on the band and who you're talking about. But if you want to go play. If people want to come and show up, they'll show up, and the rest will sort itself out. But I mean, heck yeah, if you want to go play, why shouldn't you? I don't think Neil would mind. I think he was somebody who liked to play, and I think if the passion's still there and you want to make music, and I mean, it will never be the same.
No, yeah.
But it might still be really magical on a different level.
Yeah.
it'd be huge, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Minnesota
Yes,
Music
congrats.
Hall of Fame.
Thank you so
That's
much.
yeah.
Well
Yes.
deserved.
So, what was that like? Just this past weekend.
It was amazing. So it's in New Ulm. I don't know if you've been. Have you been to the museum?
I never have been, but I just saw a feature. I think I don't know what Channel 4 or wherever I saw it. It just did a big feature on it.
Yeah, it's really cool. This town, they started. Of course, it's a polka capital, right?
For sure.
And so they started wanting to do a Hall of Fame for all their polka members and accordion players and whatever, because that's their heritage and their
Whoopi
thing.
John and the gang.
Yeah, Whoopi John and everybody. And so that's how it started out. And then they said, well, nobody else is doing a Hall of Fame. I think we're going to just take it. So they did. And they've got, every year they do another 6 inductees. And
Nice.
so.
And several categories, correct?
Several categories. That's what I like about it too. So they always have a one to do with their hometown. But then they've got a rock band, singer-songwriter maybe, an instrumentalist, an educator. It's really cool the way they do it. And anyway, it was an amazing night, and I was really, really lucky because both my mom and my dad, my sister, a lot of my best friends and bandmates, and some fans actually all came, and it was just emotional for me.
Nice.
You just see everybody out there and be able to thank them. I spent a lot of time thanking Winona, where I grew up, and my music department, because when I grew up, music was on all the schools, and it was celebrated. It wasn't, you didn't have to pay for it. It was like, if you wanted to participate, you could. And I'm so sad that it's not like that in schools anymore, because I really believe it saves lives. I think music so needed. So I was able to thank a lot of the instructors who made a difference in my life and stuff, and that was really, really cool.
Were any of them there?
They weren't there, but
Yeah.
a few of them know about it, and I actually am going to write personal letters to the ones who couldn't, might not know that don't live around here anymore or whatever. But yeah.
Any of your close musical friends in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, Mary Jane Aulm.
Mary Jane.
Jane, my best friend, my BFF.
Yeah, your best buddy, yeah.
One of my other best friends, Paul Dietelm, who's a guitar player in the Fabulous Armadillos and Rock and Roll Christmas, which I've been in for 17, 18 years. He was inducted a few years ago. He used to play with Johnny Lang too, and he's just an amazing player. As you know, you've seen him before,
Yeah.
so you know.
Yep.
And of course the Petersons, my good pals in the Peterson family, they're amazing. And I think I've got some other people I know, I just can't think of them right now, but those are the ones that are closest to me. So that's cool.
Let's go back to you started in Winona, but you've had a global career, and part of that included a band from the '80s called Bananarama, didn't it? Didn't you have some kind of a story about Bananarama? Can I ask you about that?
Who told you this?
Well, that's my job. I'm supposed to find things
Gosh,
out.
you're like a sleuth. I know. I'm not
Can
sure.
you share it?
I'm not sure if I should. Well, you know what? We'll share it and we'll see what happens. Actually, so when I lived in England, in London, I was a backing singer for Rick Astley.
Yeah, never gonna give you up.
Never gonna give you up. Yeah, so I did a lot of things with him, Top of the Pops and, the Royal Albert Hall and all these other things. But one of the things we did was play at the Royal Variety Performance. And that happens every year. And they've got, so it's just to set it up for you, it's got everybody from, so that year it was Kylie Minogue, it was Aha,
Yeah,
Rick
Take
Astley.
on You, if I remember when that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bananarama, it was Jackie Mason, the comedian, the Golden Girls. So it's all these different kind of artists that come out, and there was like a circus that did something. So that's what they do every year, and so Bananarama were there. And I was just this, I'd just been in England for a couple of years, and I was still the Midwestern, hi, how you doing kind of girl, and I was standing backstage, because I was waiting to go on with Rick, and the three girls of Bananarama were standing next to me, and they were standing there not saying anything, and me, I just go, good luck. And they just gave me this look like,
It's gonna blow you off.
who are you? You little peon, whatever. I was like, I felt like this big, super small.
Aw.
So anyway, what happened is we get through the night, and I did not mean for this to happen, but we get through the night, and there's cars waiting for us, and someone is pulling my hand to go out to the car, and I've got these spiky, probably 4-inch heels on, and they're pulling me, and I'm running, and I don't even know it. The three girls of Bananarama are standing there. And there was all this press and everything around, right? And as I'm running through the hall, I spike one of their feet with on the way out. And the look on her face like, and I did not mean to do it. But I think, my friends and I have said karma. No. So I'm really sorry, Bananarama, if you hear this, I apologize. But I did not mean to do that. But I was like, oh my God, that was so weird. So that's my Bananarama story.
So back, hang on. I want to ask you about working with Rick Astley, too, which I think we've chatted about before a little bit. She is Pamela McNeill. She is now in the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame as of last weekend. And, of course, you can see her perform. In fact, for those of us love to go to the Dakota, she's going to be there. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. I do want to mention Jeff and all our buddies over at Quarry's Home Services. They are hosting their biggest event yet, and it's their open house at the Little Canada location. I'm there every year for that. It runs from May 3rd to May 5th. So you get ready to see some incredible savings on essential home services. We're talking HVAC systems, Connecticut water treatment systems, generators, there's something to think about, water heaters, and more. And I joined them for exclusive deals and unbeatable discounts that really are unavailable anywhere else. So whether you're aiming to elevate your home's comfort or you're going to bolster its efficiency, Their expert team is there to assist you. So circle the dates on your calendar and make sure to drop by the open house event. It's an opportunity. I mean, it's a great opportunity. Having been there so many times, I know you're not going to see these specials like this, so don't miss it. Aquarius believes in earning the right to be recommended. And in fact, they're at my house tomorrow going to do an AC tune-up, which makes a lot of sense. So take advantage of that. They're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. But a great group of people, I'll tell you that. They've already texted me to remind me about tomorrow's visit. AquariusHomeservices.com. We are in the AquariusHomeservices.com studio. Pamela McNeill, Hall of Famer, is with us, which seems kind of weird. You're still young enough to be a Hall of Famer. That's kind of cool. Sometimes that's kind of a signature that maybe you've gotten old.
Right.
But not in your case. So, Rick Astley, how did you ever hook up with him, and what was that experience like?
So I was in England, and the person I was married to at the time was in a band called The Cutting Crew, and they had a big hit. I just died in your arms tonight.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
So they were like being nominated for Grammys and stuff at that time, and so anyway, through that we got to go to a lot of concerts, and they knew that I was a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, like huge.
Yeah.
And we had met their Fleetwood Mac sound sound tech in New York for something. And he said, hey, if I were ever there, I'll call you up and get you backstage. I'm thinking, oh, great. Thinking, no, he won't.
Sure.
Well, guess what? I got a phone call one day. And they said, he said, want to come to Wembley? They were playing. This was when Lindsay had left. So they had Rick Vito and Billy Burnett filling in. But we went to Wembley, and, concert was great. And we were backstage and, just kind of hanging out, doing the thing. And this woman came over to me. Her name was Debbie Haxton, and she ran what was called the Session Connection in town. So she would put people on tour with Pink Floyd or whoever it was.
Oh, nice.
That was her gig. And she said, I understand you're a singer. And I said, well, yes, I am. And she just said, I might have some work for you. I'm like, okay. And thinking, whatever. The next day she called and she said, Rick Astley is looking for a new backing singer. His girl left just to go to Bras. Bras is a band that you wouldn't know here, but in the rest of the world, they were the biggest thing. I mean,
Bras?
Bras, yeah. BROS, yeah. They were
Yeah,
with
I
the
remember.
They had
the
the twin brother. Yeah, right.
Yes.
So you
I
wouldn't know
remember that.
here, but over there,
Over there, yes.
It was
yeah.
huge.
Probably big in Switzerland, weren't they?
Yeah,
Probably,
they
yeah.
were.
And so, anyway, she said, you need to go meet Pete Waterman. So that was Stock, Aitken, and Waterman were the producers that produced all the Bananarama, Rick Astley, Kylie, everything. It was boom, 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 4 on the floor all the way. And they had, the charts were full of everything that they did, at the time. So I went down to PLW Studios, or whatever it was called, PWL, and walked in, and he walked in the room, and he took one look, and he said, all right, you got the gig. Next week,
You did not sing
Royal
one
Albert
note.
Hall. Nope. Well, a lot of TV over there is not live. There's just no way. Not usually. There's just no way
Yeah.
that any of the award shows or they just don't. So, but then I ended up singing with him on tour a little bit too. So as an actual singer. But anyway, so I got the gig, and the next thing I know is at Royal Albert Hall on my birthday, singing with Rick Astley. Talk about surreal. It was amazing. So that's how that happened.
Okay, I'd have to ask you about outfits. So, who told you what to wear, or did you get to pick out your own thing? How did it work back in that day?
For that instance, they just approved what I was going to wear. I just wore a little black dress with whatever, everything. Everybody wore black all the time over there. So I got that. But then there were other ones where you did have a stylist that would, take you somewhere to get something or do fittings or, something like that. So
did you get to know, a lot of these, like you mentioned, Aha, or I don't know, Flock Seagulls, or Level 42?
Level 42.
All of these bands.
Bronsky Beat was one of my favorite back in the day, man.
I loved Erasure.
Yeah.
Erasure
was
were
also,
great,
yes.
I got to meet them in passing, but not like, the only person I really met that I really liked a lot, that we had a little bit of a conversation more, I'm sure there were some other people, but was Carol Decker of Tapao. Give a little bit of heart.
Oh, yeah.
She was great.
Yep.
She was really great. And so she was really nice. And I can't even remember. I know there was more, but I can't remember.
You ever do that? You ever do that song in any of your shows?
That would be a great song to do.
You'd be. I can't imagine. That'd be like a perfect match, wouldn't it?
Yeah, now that you say that, I might have to add that to Wild Angels just because.
Yeah. If I'm your music consultant, then that's a problem. That's for sure. But if you haven't seen Pamela, I would do that. And I want to mention as long as I'm thinking about it, but the Dakota, where we love to go, and just if there's an act we don't know, it's fun to go watch them. But you're going to be playing there for the first time.
I know. I can't believe it. The first time, May 30th. And I'm so excited just doing all my original songs. One nice set. And
songs you've written.
Yep. And so I'm super excited. I hope people come out.
Okay, you're going to be coming up. Can I mention you got a new album that's going to be coming out? Are you going to be doing numbers from the new album?
We're going to do the whole thing in its entirety.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Plus a bunch of other, like my hits, the fan favorites or whatever. So yeah, we will be doing, it's a 6-song EP actually. So we will be doing that towards the end.
Who's in the band?
So in the band is John Richardson on drums, who actually also runs my record label, Farm to Label Records. It'll be my friend Max Krauth, who's done a lot of shows with me. It'll be Isaac Levy.
Oh,
I love Isaac. A guy from Nashville named Jesse, who I haven't met yet.
Jesse Astley?
I think that's it.
Oh, I worked with him.
You did?
On several records.
I've heard he's amazing.
He's an amazing guitar player.
And singer, right?
Yep.
Yes. So
Oh
I cannot
my
wait.
God.
Yeah.
I might have to come out.
Yeah, you're going to have to. And then the keyboard player, I can't remember if we've got that sorted out, but we're almost there with that. So we're going to rehearse in a couple
If
weeks.
everything breaks down, I'm sure Ricky's free.
Hey, Ricky, come on, Ricky.
Well, with
That
your
was
love
so-
of Fleetwood Mac, and he plays with
I know,
Stevie Nicks.
right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, well, but you and Ricky are buddies anyway,
Yeah.
right? So that's exciting at the Dakota. Now, that's not the only show. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff cooking.
Oh, yeah, always.
And you're at the Chanhassen DT. You can Chanhassen Dinner Theaters sometimes.
Yep, I'm there in June with Wild Angels. I'm there in August with my Rumors and Dreams Fleetwood Mac tribute. And I have a solo show in November there, so that's a little bit ways away. And I've got a million things, I'm in Fergus Falls tomorrow with the Armadillos, Fabulous Armadillos, doing the What's Going On songs from the Vietnam War era.
That's
show.
a big usually
show.
a sold out event.
Yeah,
isn't
it is sold out. And then this weekend I'm at the Lakeville Area Arts Center with Wild Angels, the Women of Rock, Pop, and Country, with my two best friends, Mary Jane Alm and Amy Lee, and the Handsome Devils Band, who kick butt. And so that'll be really fun. And I'm May 17th, I'm at Pioneer Place Theater in St. Cloud with my original show again. May 4th, I'm at the Paramount Theater in St. Cloud with my Rumors and Dreams, but that's been sold out for a couple months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Well, and it always sells out at Chanhassen, I know that.
Yeah.
You sell out a lot where you go. So another reason you're in the Hall of Fame. What about, now Mary Jane's been with us on the show.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a great friendship. How did that start?
Oh, it's a great story. So Tom Tucker Sr., who I was talking about earlier.
My mentor.
Yep. And he was really important in my music career, too. And I would call one of my best friends. He engineered for Prince. He did a lot of things.
Yep.
But I was working at IPR, the Institute of Production and Recording, where I met Davide.
No, we met at MMI.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was IPR.
No.
Boy, see, I
Yeah,
am getting
I
old.
know.
I don't remember. Is it?
Guys know exactly where they met you. So,
That's it, Dave.
yeah,
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay, now it's kind of coming back to me.
That's just how it works. Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, I was working at IPR, and Mary Jane Alm had just started working, and she went down to Tom Tucker and said, "What's with this Pamela McNeill girl? What do I need to know about this?" And he said, "Oh, trust me, Mary Jane, you guys are going to be best friends. You like the same kind of music. She's an amazing songwriter. You're an amazing songwriter. You have to meet her. You're going to be friends, So, little beknownst to me, she walks up to the teacher's lounge, walks in, puts her hand out and says, "Hi, Tom Tucker says we should be friends. So, want to be friends?" And we shook hands, and we have been best friends ever since. I mean, we really feel like we were so lucky. And it's like, I don't know what I did without you all these. She's like, I don't know the same thing. So there are things that our lives are so parallel in so many ways that it's almost eerie. And it's like, oh my God, we have all the same secrets, all the same, just, things that happen. It's crazy, but it's cool,
Oh gosh, how great is that? Especially in the music industry, to have someone that you can count on like that.
And then we get to do shows together and support each other, and it's magical. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, I've tried to get Amy and Boyd on this show. I haven't had a lot of success with that.
Oh, well, I'll fix that.
Well,
that would be great because
our schedules haven't worked out.
Yeah.
Could be more my fault than theirs, actually. But
it's
could
like
be. It is.
Jelly Bean Johns, and we still have.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun to talk about Minnesota music because we have so many great musicians.
We do.
In this area, and then the Minnesota sound as well. So she is Pamela McNeill, the newest member of the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame. And you just heard her schedule. There's a lot of places to see her. So if you get a chance, please do that. I have many, many times, as a matter of fact, and it's always fun. Even more fun once you see her than to meet her afterwards. And it's just a great experience. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of our friends over at Star Bank, will you? Star.bank. And they have business lending solutions. If you have a business, my goodness, at Star Bank, they've been doing this for many years. They're Minnesota-based. Another one of those Minnesota, they should be in a Hall of Fame for finances if there is such a thing, because that's what they do so well. And the same family does it. They're the ones that started the bank years ago. They continue to grow. They have 10 locations in our state, and including the metro area. And what's really fun is if you drive through some of the small towns that they're in, you'll see signs about Star Bank. There will be something up there about them. I mean, they just really get involved in the community. You want to make darn sure that they get involved with you, and when you're having your loan questions, when you're thinking of your business questions, when it's an ag operating loan, maybe it's an equipment loan, a camper, a personal banking, a checking savings, now with the CDs and HSAs and IRAs and all that sort of thing. They know all that stuff. It's fun to go in there because they'll know you. You'll get to know them. But you can do it all digitally as well. They have great digital banking services at Star Bank. But I will experience their banking at your fingertips if you have that chance. Convenient mobile check deposit, secure fund transfers, whatever it is, they'll empower you to get it done right. So I'd call Star Bank today or online at star.bank. Make sure you know that that's their website now. Loans are subject to a loan application and approval. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. They are our bank here at talknorth.com. Well, Pamela McNeill is with us here. Again, she's going to be all over the place, notably, though, with the Dakota. Which makes me wonder, because the Dakota is an unusual place to sing, I would think, from an acoustic standpoint. I've always been surprised. The first time I went there, I didn't think the acoustics would be as good as they are. I really was surprised. So you'll be there. But in the places you've played, I mean, whether it be over in London and some of the big, big areas or some of the smaller theaters, do you have... I know you don't want to say a favorite because you're all over the place, but is there a certain concert hall that you like?
I really love the Paramount Theater in St. Cloud. I walk on that stage. I think I've played it many, many times, but a lot of theaters I have. But something about that one just feels so good when you're on that stage. It sounds, no matter what, it sounds good. It feels very comfortable. I really like that one. I think I like the Chan too. Chanhassen Dinner Theaters.
Yeah, another
nice.
Great sound, isn't it? Of course, you're not out in the audience, but the sound in the audience, Davide, is spectacular.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like about it. It's more intimate, a little bit, It's still a good size, but it's not, you can really get it. I love the interaction with crowd, back and forth.
That.
I mean, that's the thing. That really feeds you, but that, I think I can't remember what else, but I mean, I really like, there's only a couple places I probably don't really like, but... You always make it
you
work.
performed at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes.
Like JP performed there too. And that was his favorite.
As far
arena
as
to perform.
If you're talking about like the coolest place ever, that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Were you nervous? Not really. Once you start your craft, you're pretty confident, right?
No, I mean, I think I was nervous. I think I was nervous, but probably more like an energy nervous.
Yeah.
Like an excited nervous. And because it was, really wasn't, you're just kind of singing along. You're not really like, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about And
Yeah.
you don't have time for sound. There's no sound checks or anything. Just walk out and do your thing. So
Yeah.
just making sure you get the right words and move right is the thing. But the most nervous I ever was, though, if you want to know this, was I was with a band called TM Network in Tokyo, Japan. And they were like the Duran Duran of Japan. This was in the 80s, right after the Rick Astley thing. And I had won this job. It was a big deal. And they flew me over to Tokyo. We'd rehearsed like 2 months in London with choreography and everything. And so I sang part in Japan, partly in Japanese, partly in English, and you did all these little moves and everything. But we played the Tokyo Dome for 54,000 people.
Oh,
And
yeah, I've
boy.
been in there before.
yeah.
Like the-
They call it the Big Egg.
Yeah, like the old
Wow.
Metrodome.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wearing gas permeable contact lenses at the time, which weren't hard, but they weren't soft. And I got so nervous, and I'm blind without them. I got so nervous that as I was about to step on stage, or before I was going to go up there, I had to take one of the contacts out. And we're talking, I had a long stairway to go down and all these moves and everything. So I had to take it out. And just before I went on stage, the other one had to come out. So I basically did it blind, and it's on TV. I found videos of it now. I mean, you wouldn't know, but I couldn't connect with anybody because I couldn't see anything. And I mean, it was like, talk about being nervous. I was terrified. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I assume back in the day we did not have like screens to help with
No.
lyrics and stuff like that. So you memorized everything.
Oh, everything.
And then you learned Japanese, like
just
phonetically?
Phonetically.
Okay.
Little words that you'd have to do here and there. And they would take English words and put them in with their songs. So it might be like TMU needs, or, Fun Factory, or something like that. And you would but it was cool. I mean, they were stars, man. And the day after, they had broadcast it live on NHK TV the night we played. And I had one day left in Tokyo before I was going to go back to London. And so I decided to go shopping, walk around. And everywhere I went, I got mobbed by, people that were crying and screaming and trying to get my autograph and on the subway in the streets, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a real true star for one day in my life.
But you had no clue that was going to happen. When you were young.
No clue. But of course, I was blonde and I stuck out like a sore thumb.
Sure.
So, but it was awesome. It was really fun.
Oh God.
An experience.
So concert-wise, have you had a chance to go to many at all?
I've been so busy the last 20 years of my life.
And you're
writing and then going, whatever. But I've been to some really significant ones. I think one of the concerts that the most significant, when I went to this with Mary Jane, was the first night of Adele here.
Oh yeah.
At U.S. Bank.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
And it was that Rolling Stone was there that night. It was her first American.
Yes.
It was, wow. Right?
Yeah.
And she's somebody that you feel like you could go party with her afterwards, or she'd know you or whatever. But
yeah,
I'd
love to sit at a happy hour with her.
Oh my God!
After I saw the show, I said, I knew what bar she was going to hang out.
Yeah.
I'd just like to sit with her and talk.
Yeah.
But I will say, when I went to that, I was very lukewarm. Mm-hmm. But I love going to concerts, even if I don't think, even if it is an AC/DC or whoever.
Yeah.
I still love going because I know I can't do any of them. So I always admire whoever does. So I went to Adele, wanting to see her, but I'll be okay. It's just she's just. And then after I saw her, I just shook my head and said, "Man, she is so good." But she's just exactly what you said. Yeah. So personable. At least she seems like she is.
Oh my God! Oh, I think she is.
Yeah.
Well, and the other big one, I got to see Taylor Swift at the Eras tour. The second night.
Oh, wow.
And I got to take my stepdaughter, Allie, Bruce's daughter.
Nice.
And so we had this great, girl bonding moment, and did the sequins and all the friendship bracelets and
the Swiftie thing going on.
It was so fun. It was just a blast. And I'm really, really glad I got to see that. Cause the funny thing is I thought I wasn't going to be able to go because I couldn't get tickets. And then we were in Florida too, and I couldn't get them there. And I thought, I'll see the DVD someday, and it wasn't meant to be. And then like 2 weeks before, I got this text saying, because I was a verified fan, that they had a limited number of production seats. And I just grabbed a couple not knowing and found it. I think they were a decent, maybe $400 a piece, which is nothing, and they ended up being on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just like, wow, it was really magical. It was fun.
What, as an entertainer, and you're very engaging with the audience. In fact, the last time I saw you, I think there might have been some young kids from Winona area or something. And when you found that out, you just made them feel like $1 million. You do so many, you don't remember it. I remember it well. But what is it about Taylor Swift? What is it?
Well, first of all, I've always loved her songwriting. I mean, I recognized it early on, and people wanted to poo-poo her or whatever. It's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
This girl is a songwriter. And I think because she taps into, she says stuff that, and I don't mean to be like just us girls, because I think it goes across all, men and women, but she just says stuff that we've all maybe thought about, or maybe if we had a diary, we would have written. Mm-hmm. But she does it in a way that it seems like it's right from your head. I mean, she talks about the things that I feel like we haven't been allowed to talk about, or we don't want to overdo it or whatever. So I don't know. She's the biggest thing ever. I mean, and she's earned that. I mean, she works her tail off.
Yeah.
I think she expresses herself in a way that a lot of female singer-songwriters were not able to say the things that she's saying in that simplistic way that everyone
right
understands.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her
she's
bigger than anyone else.
I know.
And
true.
The Beatles were like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the earlier stuff, the later stuff, that's
it's a whole different
poetry
thing. Yeah,
and
right.
something different. But the Beatles were like that.
Yeah.
And that's how the Beatles started out with, they became big because they were, simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
We want everyone to understand what we're singing about.
And I think that such a great role model for young girls.
Yes.
Or any kind of anybody, to just hold your own and know that it's okay to feel how you're feeling and get it out there. And it's okay to be mad. And if you want, it's been a really fun thing to watch. It's been really cool.
I had the chance to meet her. She's very, very humble.
You got to meet her? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yes. And I've told this story before, but she, for example, my wife was with when we met her. And all she wanted to know, what did she talk about? She asked my wife where she got her purse. She said, loved her shoes. She said, where did you get the outfit? She never once in that conversation, which was, a nice conversation, she never once said anything about herself.
Right.
Not once. And she seemed legitimately interested. And then if you'd answer, she was listening. And if she wasn't, she was...
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, because you know how it is. You got to show you're entertaining.
And everybody's around you trying to do this. And
And who's full of BS and who's giving me a line. And and gosh, she was just... I walked out of there going, man, she just gets the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For her to sit and listen to, somebody who wanted to meet her, and then she's like, oh, God, really, really? Yeah. I mean, she was impressive.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. Well... you both have the same qualities. I mean, you ask people about themselves. It's kind of cool. When the entertainer asks you questions, you're thrown for a loop because people just don't do that.
Yeah, they throw
that.
you off. Like,
why would they? But when they ask a question about you, you're going, you weren't quite expecting that. Anyway. So you've got all this stuff going on. You're going to record the new album. Everything's written and done, I assume?
It's all ready. It's actually being, this is exciting. It's being cut into vinyl. It's my first vinyl ever.
Oh.
Nice.
So we're going to be releasing vinyl.
So cool.
Yeah. And so that's all. I think it's being cut sometime this week. So
in
that's
Nashville or here?
I don't remember where they're doing. There's different places that do like this and that do this, and I'm learning all about this process.
Okay.
It's a huge deal. The artwork's being finished up right now, and so yeah.
Do you have a turntable at home?
We do.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay.
We just got a vintage one that sat in your parents' with the
Oh,
speakers
big
built in.
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Like
beautiful.
a furniture.
1965.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, we just got one of those, and my friend Stretch actually has a friend who was on the lookout for one for me, and so
man.
now we have that. And it's got that smell, when you
Oh,
turn
yeah.
it on. Oh, those tubes warming up.
The
and all,
tubes
oh,
are the best. As a kid, I
My-
remember we looked at those tubes thinking, I bet I
Yeah.
could see the entertainers in these
Yeah.
tubes. It was a little- that was the way it
That's
was.
right.
My good old buddy in Switzerland, Bruno, had one of those. His parents had one of those back
yeah.
early 80s.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would spend a lot of time there because he was the only one with a turntable.
Yeah.
And so we would just, play Kiss and AC/DC and
Yeah.
all of those.
I love it.
Yeah, we grew up with one of those too. Although I still have my Bang & Olufsen from my single days.
Bang & Olufsen I have those speakers in my car, and I love them.
Yeah.
I think that was the best. I think those were the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have the turntable at home, and I remember one time when the kids asked me when they were little, "What is that?"
This
Because it
ancient
disappeared for a long time,
relic.
right? It's really cool that it's come back vinyl, and really fun that you're doing vinyl. So, some of us nerds used to read the liner notes.
Oh yeah.
Are you going? Do you have liner notes?
I have a few liner notes, and then all the lyrics I think will be in there too.
And there's still liner notes on CDs, but it's not like it was in the back of an album where you'd sit
Yeah,
and read it.
I kind of cut that down because I was doing so much, and I'm just kind of
Thank you to the whole world.
Yeah, I would
like,
thank the whole world and everything.
oh,
It
did
was
I
like-
forget somebody?
Yeah, that I would feel bad. I was like, it's just basically whoever was involved with the album now, and Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, again at the Dakota, you'll be performing that album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super excited. It's called Wave After Wave.
And tell us about the title?
So Bruce and I have been spending a lot of time in Florida here and there.
Yeah.
And the first
Bruce
time
is your husband.
Bruce is
Just
my
for folks who
husband.
don't know.
Yes, Bruce. And when we first went down there, I would walk the beach every day. We're out in the Gulf, and I would look at all these people come down to the ocean and stare out, and they're giving whatever it is to the ocean. That those are the things. You have those moments in nature where it's so much bigger than you, and you can just you get your answers or you put it out there. I don't know. I see this. I feel it. For myself, I do.
Yep.
And so I said, I want to write a song called The Ocean. And so that's the last song on the album. And it's I'm so excited about it. I said, I want to do a really big kind of song called The Ocean. So, it was very influenced by being there. And, so there's a couple songs that are there. And then there's a couple songs that were some of my favorites that I never released that we redid. And then they wanted to take a couple of my songs that I had released and reimagine them. So we did that with a couple of my songs, and we have the most killer band down there, including Tom Bukovac on guitars, who is, he's just amazing. And Sarah Buxton, one of my heroes, is singing backing vocals on everything.
Nice.
And so it's pretty special. Rachel Loy on the bass, you look her up, she's amazing. It's just a killer band. So I'm super excited. I'm really, really proud of it. I think it's the best sounding thing I've ever done.
Where do folks find you on the web or on Instagram or whatever?
PamelaMcNeill.com. And then I'm on all the socials, Pamela McNeill Music, 2 L's in McNeill. And, I know that I'm on all the other stuff, but I couldn't tell you right now how to get there. But I can maybe send that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, have we left anything out, Pamela?
I think we pretty much covered it all.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks for sharing the Bananarama story.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
That's awesome.
No, if I may, Dave, I'm so glad you came on. And speaking of thanking teachers, I need to thank you because you gave me, with what you taught me, it wasn't just like, the business side of the music industry, which is probably the toughest part, being in the music industry. But what you taught me, me and my former partner at F5 Soundhouse, we made this as the mentorship, the piece of service integrated into with every artist we worked. That was part of it, to teach them about the music industry, to teach them about performance rights organization, contracts, copyright, social media, and all of that. And I couldn't have done it without you. So I publicly want to thank you, and maybe I can share one story, and with working with you, I had the privilege to work with you on one session, and I don't know if you remember or not. Basically, you were tracking vocals for one of your new tunes at the time, and I was operating Pro Tools, and all I had to do is basically let the song run. She would sing her heart out, make a new playlist, and start over again, finish the song again, and start over again. So you were just singing one take after another, and that was impressive. For half an hour, you were singing your heart out.
Oh,
so I just want to share that. So
that is so sweet. Thank you. I'm a little bit clamped now.
oh, come on.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Well, I appreciate you coming in again, Pamela. It's always awesome to see you.
Oh.
Fun to see you perform again, and now a lot of opportunities out there. The Dakota one is going to be very special, but they all are. I know how that is. It's a new show, and you keep that going. It's a new show for people every night, right? They've never seen you. I don't know how you maintain that, but you maintain that enthusiasm.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it's all, as I said in my speech the other night, it's all I ever wanted to do, and when I was a little girl, it's all I thought about every night when I went to sleep. This is what I want to do every single night.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you
so
much.
Even though it gets hectic sometimes,
too.
And we'll look forward to the new album.
All right, I can't wait.
She is Pamela McNeill, the newest member of the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame, too, by the way. Check that out when you get a chance on their website. Or if you're down, by the way, if you're down in the New Ulm area, go to the building and see what they've done. It's pretty impressive. Star.bank has brought you the program today. They're great. They're our bank here at talknorth.com. Look at them up on the web when you get a chance. Better yet, visit with them. They'll answer the phone when you call, too, with a live person. Don't be surprised. And then also, of course, Jeff and the great staff over at AquariusHomeservices.com. Again, the open house is coming up here in May now, May 3rd through the 5th. And I know I'll be hanging out there to see Jeff. And they also have great deals over there, so make sure you're up in the Oakdale area.
Do they have food?
Yes. If you got a big tent full of food,
maybe I'll show up.
We'll go to. I'll buy you lunch that day. So anyway, get over to and check out their website at AquariusHomeservices.com. Davide, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
And we again tell you to go to Apple or Spotify, wherever you can, to download these. And then also to TalkNorth.com, where we have a ton of podcasts for you. Dave here. I'll see you next time on My First Concert.